So Notion still becomes that collaborative front end, essentially, where, the way I can get into like my file structure, but it's like company information, high level overview, who we are, what we do. Then like each folder is kind of a different project. And so it has like context of the project, whatever. So if I'm working on a project, I can work in a silo essentially. But then at the end of the day, I push it to GitHub and Notion. And so like the whole team has access to everything. And I just write that into my skill. So when I'm done doing a certain task, I don't even think about it. It automatically happens. But collaboration is clearly the biggest bottleneck for Claude right now. Let's go into, I ran this earlier today because I was good at preparing, which I don't usually do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. The only file that I started with this project that you would need to like recreate this for yourself, pretty much just like a who we are as a company. Is it shown here? Yeah, this brand SST. There you go. There's your technical issue. So essentially what it is file, it's a markdown file that has like high level about the brand and like the company that we're writing for. This can be, I kind of crammed it all into one page just for like ease of demonstration, but it can obviously be like multiple files. If you have like who your ICP is, if you're an agency, like I have what my services are, who we serve, we do like AI visibility and search. So it's like, what is it? What else do people refer to it as? What problems does it solve? How it works, right? Like just general information about who we are. And what I think is very important, especially if you're doing content, is who your ICP is. And I've broken this into like different personas of who they are. I like looking at like psychographic profile. You can see we have like voice of customer stuff. And then I usually like to frame things around like the jobs to be done framework, which hopefully if you're a content person, you know what that is. And then some proof points. And then when I write content, I filter everything through like a spiky point of view. So like I make sure everything has like an actual perspective versus just being a flat observation or like a truism. I want to have something that's actually, unique. Anyway, whole lot of context on who I am and what we do. That is very important if you work in Claude or chat or whatever. Just like go into a new chat and be like, make me a really single source of truth, detailed brand brief, and it will probably do a good enough job. So that was the one file I used getting into this build. So that's really my only input. Otherwise, I just came into chat, opened a new folder in Cowork. You're working off of your local machine. So you can see, I don't want to start, choose a new folder. You can see I'm actually in my, folder working out of here. And this is a local desktop folder, which will then, like I was saying before, will later be uploaded to GitHub. And that's kind of how I share it. Big learning. Please do not store your files on a cloud drive. So that's iCloud or Google Drive. I spent the last 3 days debugging my entire setup because I made this mistake. And someone else told me, and I've given the advice, but I obviously didn't listen to my own advice.
MCP for Google Drive is not working its charm as good as Vocal.
I haven't used the Google MCP. I'm just saying, like, on here, I used to think I was being smart by iCloud Drive and storing it there because I was like, oh, everything will be backed up. But the way that it works is it like pretty much just creates aliases and deletes that content and stores in the cloud until you need it again. And so it was like telling me files didn't exist that I knew existed. And like that becomes a frustration at surface level. But then when it's like my website build and like my live website files are missing and like half of them are there, the other, it just screwed up everything. So learned my lesson. Anyway, keep it on your local machine.